my YouTube channel. My name is Erin, and this is the Scenic Route Traveler. This week, I'm in the Seattle Pacific Northwest area heading to Olympic National Park, Mount Rainier, and Seattle to check out the areas because I've never been and I'm very excited. If you're new here, welcome back to my YouTube channel, the Scenic Route Traveler. My name is Erin, and I have been traveling internationally for a decade and have been to 40 countries around the world. My aim as a traveler is to explore and discover the world's most beautiful places one scenic route at a time. Today, we're embarking on a 6-day road trip journey to some of Washington's most beautiful and alluring places: Seattle, Mount Rainier National Park, and Olympic National Park. Come along with me each day to see and hear all about my trip to either inspire you to come or give you a few ideas for your upcoming trip to the Pacific Northwest. I'm out in Olympia, Washington today, where I'm heading to Olympic National Park for the next couple days. I just got in late last night. I'm staying at an Airbnb. Got in late, rented a car, drove here, stayed the night, and now heading out to check out the downtown Olympia for some breakfast, and then heading out to Olympic National Park, where I'm going to go to Rainforest. I'm going to go to some of the beaches along the highway, stop in Fork, Washington, and then end up in Port Angeles, where I'll be staying the night as well. I'm at a cafe here in Olympia in Washington called New Moon Cafe. It seems to be really good, and they have a lot of good vegan options, so I highly recommend if you're here in Olympia to stop by and have breakfast here. I'm in Olympic National Park for the next couple days. I've just stopped at the Tree of Life, and it's a super easy, quick stop on your route around Olympic National Park if you're going from Olympia to Fork to Port Angeles and kind of vice versa, and stopping along different parts and scenic parts along the way. So I'm just on the beach that is near the Tree of Life, and it's super easy to get to from the parking lot. It's probably a 2-minute walk down some stairs, and right near there is the Tree of Life. The beach itself is also super stunning. I think I'll just spend a little time looking at the ocean. So after the Tree of Life, I'm now heading to Ruby Beach to check it out. I've heard really good things, so that will be a little bit down the road from Tree of Life. I'm now out here at Ruby Beach, and it's just down the road from where I was at the Tree of Life. And so far it's beautiful. I'm just taking the walkway down to where the beach is. I'm at the National Rainforest doing the Hall of Mosses Trail. It's only about 0.8 miles round trip, so it's not too bad. Elevation gain, really not too bad at all. It's absolutely stunning and lives up to the hype as one of the most popular trails to do here in National Rainforest. We somehow got really lucky and have a completely blue sky day, no rain, actually quite warm today. Usually this rainforest gets pretty rainy given all the moss, so really glad to be here today when it's nice. If you're coming to National Rainforest, it's only about an hour outside of Fork, Washington, and then a few hours outside of Olympia or Port Angeles, which either, if you're staying in either area, I will be staying in Port Angeles tonight, and then I was in Olympia this last night, so it's pretty easy to get to, only a few hours from either of those bigger locations. Rialto Beach, which is about 20 minutes outside of Forks, Washington, and this is also where you can walk to the hole in the wall. It's about a mile and a half in and then a mile and a half back. I'm just gonna sit and enjoy the sun going down and eating my dinner. I'm getting a little bit tired because I still have to head to my Airbnb in Port Angeles, but I would recommend coming here to have a picnic or go to the hole in the wall spot down the beach as well. Stopped at the most beautiful lake on the way to Port Angeles for my Airbnb, and I just had to stop and take some photos. It's stunning, it's golden hour, and I couldn't ask for a better end to day one. Let's start to day 2 of my Seattle Pacific Northwest weekend. I stayed the night in Port Angeles in an Airbnb, and now I'm headed to the Hurricane Ridge to see if I can do some hiking over there. Well, I'm at Hurricane Ridge trying to get in, and there's another line to get in, but I assume it's because I'm here at 6:45 in the morning. So I think it's just going to be opening up, which also means another wrap while I sit here and wait. Okay, so I'm starting the day in the Hurricane Ridge area, and I'm doing the Hurricane Hill trailhead, and it's supposed to be one of the more beautiful hikes in the area, so I'm very excited. And I've gotten here pretty early, and I genuinely got the last spot in the main parking lot right before the trailhead. So if you want to get a good parking spot, I recommend getting here as early as you can and beating some of the crowds also later in the day on the trails. So if you're coming to do the Hurricane Ridge Road or any of the hikes that are on it, I recommend staying near Port Angeles and getting up really early to go do all of them before all the crowds. And this trail and some of the roads up to here are actually closed for most of the year because of snow. So it's a pretty short window that you'll be able to even come up here. So if you're really hoping to do that, I would come sometime in the summer or early fall to be able to do all of this. I am in the Olympia National Park in Hurricane Ridge Trail. I just kind of stopped off a little bit outside of the trail just to get some photos, a little peace and quiet. The trail's a little bit busier, but I also recommend coming as early as you can because A, it's not as much parking right by the trailhead, and B, you'll have less people near you. And it does get warmer later in the day too. I was in this and feeling fine, but the sun's coming out and it's getting a little bit warmer, so. Sun Ridge Trail that is in the Hurricane Ridge area. It's, I think, only about 1.5 miles, if that, but the views should be really nice of the area. Alright, so I've stopped in Port Angeles for lunch. I was very hungry after eating my hummus wrap for breakfast. So I've stopped here figuring out what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to head to the Rainier Falls Trail and then Lake Crescent to check out that area around there. And then eventually I have to head over to Mount Rainier area where I'm staying for the next couple nights and doing some hiking over there. If you're looking for a good place to be centrally located to the different trails in Olympia National Park, I do recommend Port Angeles. It's big enough, it has some really good shops and restaurants, but you're also pretty close to some of the other places for day trips, or if you're just here for a night and want to continue the Olympia National Park loop, like I've been doing. But yeah, it's a really good central location to be for the different hikes that you might want to do in the area. And it's only a few hours from Seattle. Doing the Rainier Falls Trail. I think it's just less than 1 mile to the trail and back, and I've heard it's really beautiful and it's not super hard for a really great view, which after this morning's hike my legs are feeling it a little bit, so this will be very nice. 3. I'm in Mount Rainier National Park. I stayed in Eatonville last night where my Airbnb is. I'll also stay there tonight because it's only an hour from the Paradise area, which is where I'm spending most of my day today. So I'm looking forward to it. The trails around here look stunning and there's quite a few that I want to do. So here's to hoping for a good day 3. And I'm almost to the top at the panoramic point, and I recommend doing the Skyline Loop Trail clockwise because you'll have the best view of Mount Rainier as you go up. Fortunately, I'm at the top and it's right behind me there in the clouds, but I was able to see it toward the bottom, so not all lost on taking this way. Well, this is your reminder to take photos when you can, because on my way up on Skyline Trail it was a beautiful vista and now it's this, and thankfully I got photos earlier, so just a reminder. So I just got done doing the Skyline Loop, well, part of the Skyline Loop up to the panorama viewpoint. So I was going to do the full Skyline Loop, but any more elevation after the panoramic viewpoint was going to be too much on my Midwestern Chicago no elevation body on my first day in elevation, so I decided to listen to my body and turn around. But now I'm heading to the Myrtle Falls. Unfortunately, we have some cloud cover that has come in. Thankfully, I was able to get some photos and see the vista going up. So early bird got the worm on that one. Now I'm doing the Nisqually Trail, which is about 1.2 miles, 400 feet of elevation gain. So pretty easy. My legs are definitely a little tired after the bigger hike this morning. So if you're like me and only really have a day or a day and a half in Mount Rainier, you're just doing a shorter trip out to the Seattle area, I do recommend coming to the Paradise area. It's going to have some of the more beautiful trails that you might really want to do when you're out here, including Skylight Trail, Panoramic View, Nisqually Trail. It also has a nice visitor center with food. There is also lodging up here, but I recommend getting here earlier if you want to kind of spend the day in the area to get a good parking spot. I got here about 8 o'clock and I would say about half the parking lot was already full. Granted, I'm here on Labor Day weekend, but still. Really great area to check out if, again, you really only have a short amount of time like I do. So I've actually stopped at Reflection Lake, which is just off the road. It's the road right there. My car's right back there. But unfortunately, once again, the clouds have other plans for seeing Mount Rainier, but it's still beautiful and it's sunny over here, so what can you do? So I'm back in Mount Rainier National Park for the day. I'm headed to the different spots around the park that I didn't see yesterday on the west side. And then the plan is to make my way and drive around the park, kind of stop at a few points that I'm hoping to see. It's cloudy today, so I'm not sure how much of Mount Rainier I'm actually going to see, but I think it'll still be a good day nonetheless. And then later this afternoon, I'm headed to Seattle for a few days, staying at a really cute bed and breakfast. And I've never seen Seattle or checked it out, so I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm at Tipso Lake in Mount Rainier National Park in Washington, and unfortunately, normally you can see the lake is pretty clear and you can see Mount Rainier in the background, which I was hoping to get a photo of, but that's the lake, and you can't even see across the lake. It is so cloudy, so kind of a bummer, but what can you expect? To Seattle, and I'm staying at the Cecil Bacon Manor Bed and Breakfast in Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington, and I'm super excited to be here for the next 2 nights because I love exploring new cities, and especially neighborhoods and parts of the city that not everyone comes to if they're only here for 2 days. So I'm going to be taking you guys around the next 2 days in the area, showing you all the great things to do while you're staying here. On an evening stroll near the bed and breakfast that I'm staying at in Volunteer Park. Honestly reminds me of Lincoln Park back at home in Chicago, so I really love it. Everyone's walking their dogs, playing badminton or playing with their dogs, so it's really nice. So today is my full day in Seattle, and I'm looking forward to checking out a few different spots. I'm actually meeting a friend who lives in Seattle for lunch as well, so I'm excited to see her. And this morning I'm going to a vegan bagel place, which I'm excited about. Now I'm in downtown Seattle, where I'm headed to Pike's Place, seeing the gum wall for Starbucks. They very touristy but cool things. Place Market, the gum wall, and walked along the waterfront and checked out some of the piers. Now I'm in the historic Pioneer Square neighborhood, and I was recommended this as a cool place to come check out and take photos. So I'm just gonna kind of walk around, check it out. Checking out Ballard in Seattle. I've got a matcha. I'm checking out the town, but I've also heard there's some other good parts to check out in the area, and I might also go along the water to one of the parks that my friend recommended and check that out as well. Beaches, which is a beach that was recommended to me by my friend. That is one of the nicer beaches in the area to check out if you're visiting Seattle. My last morning in Seattle. I am in the Washington Park Arboretum for a little bit, walking around. It's just about a 10-minute drive from the bed and breakfast that I stayed in, the Cecil Bacon Manor bed and breakfast, which I couldn't recommend more. It was in a great part of Seattle, and it's a historic, beautiful home. So I'll leave the link to check it out in the description box below, but couldn't recommend it more. Love staying there. And yeah, this morning I'm just checking out some of the area in Capitol Hill. And then I booked a last-minute sailboat tour. I thought it was a great way to see the city, and my legs are a little bit tired from a few days of hiking. So I'm heading there around lunchtime, and then after that, I'm headed to drop the car off and head to the airport. That's a wrap on my Washington travel video. Check out my travel blog posts with more details about visiting this region in the description box below. You can find my other travel blog posts on my website, The Scenic Route Traveler. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel videos. Thanks for watching and happy travels.